All right, so the first type of sources we are going to cover are primary sources. Primary sources are original records from the past recorded by people who were either involved in the event, they witnessed the event, or knew the persons involved in the event. So there's a lot of different types of primary sources. I'm going to give you a few examples, and they are all over the place with what they could contain and types of information that they can show historians. A lot of times these can be objects, they could be artifacts, or visual evidence. So any type of writing is going to be a primary source if it's written by somebody who actually witnessed the event or experienced it. But objects, even as simple as dishes, are also considered primary sources. And visual evidence, that could be art, that could be photographs, it depends on the time period, but those can be primary sources as well. The whole point of a primary source is they give you an idea about what people alive at the time saw or thought about the event, or even just how they lived. Sometimes historians don't need to have a lot of evidence about major events that have happened, like wars or really tragic things that could have happened in history. A lot of times historians just want primary sources to show people how others lived 300 years ago or 400 years ago, and that makes a really big impact. Keep in mind that a primary source reflects only one point of view and may contain a person's bias or prejudice towards an event. So if you are talking about a major event in history, a lot of primary sources, especially if they are written, will have a bias because they are created by one person experiencing it. So it just comes from their point of view. As a historian, you don't focus only on one primary source because of that bias. You will take multiple primary sources to make sure that you are talking about an event in a well-rounded manner. Here are some examples of primary sources. One of them are printed publications, so books, magazines, or newspapers. If any of those things talk about somebody's experience with a certain event or a certain time frame, those are considered a primary source. So not all books are primary sources, but things like autobiographies or memoirs, those are great primary sources. Newspapers, if there is a newspaper article about a parade that happened in town, that says a lot actually about the actual activity that happened on that particular day, so that is considered a primary source as an example. Another example are diaries, journals, or records. Records are sort of like the census, or they could even be as simple as if you go to the library and you look on the back of a library book and there's a library card there showing all the people who've checked out that library book. All of those records, as simple as they might seem, they can be used as primary sources. Diaries and journals are really, really big primary sources because it does talk about one person's experience, for a big event or throughout a particular time frame. Another type of primary source are visual materials. So like I said, paintings, drawings, sculpture, and now, of course, photographs. Before photographs, you, of course, had paintings. But what's great about paintings is that because they're created by a person, you will see a little bit of a bias in there because of how they painted somebody and what something looks like or something that they might be focusing on in their painting. But you can see things like how somebody was dressed at that time period, what their furniture might look like, how their room could be decorated. And even though there is a bias there, you can still see a lot of important things that historians would want to know about. Visual materials like photographs or film or maps. Maps are a really great example because a map from 5 years ago might not show a certain neighborhood that has 10 new houses. Whereas now, if you looked at that same map, you would see that neighborhood and those new houses in there. So any type of information like that, photographs are great because photographs, if they take a picture of a particular street with people there, those people might have moved away or the buildings might have changed. So all of these things will show a specific time period. Another example of a primary source are oral histories. So there is a lot of history that has not been recorded or documented, but the stories have passed through families or through towns or through groups of people, and it's done by storytelling. So any type of myths or legends, all of those things are actually primary sources. Another example of a primary source are songs and poems. It doesn't seem like that might be a primary source because, once again, it might not be about a certain event, but that type of music from a certain time period, people might not listen to anymore. So it does say a lot about a specific time period. And then, of course, you have artifacts again. So any type of tools or ornaments or objects that you can see some of these pictures here, they have baskets and they have dishes and they'll have an anvil. All these things say a lot about how people lived during this time, but also some of the important instruments that they would have to use every day. So these are all examples of primary sources. The next thing we're going to look at are secondary sources.